we have Elder John Sims Jr. So, John, how's it going today?
It's going great.
It's going great. He was 30 minutes late.
Yeah.
This is our first video we're actually doing. I couldn't think of a better person to actually have first to do it than John. John and I have been in this organization for quite some time now, since I was a little kid. Ever since then, I have actually admired you, if you didn't know that or not, as far as being multi-talented, multi-gifted, from playing the piano, from singing, and what's some of the other instruments you play?
Organ, I also play drums, electric guitar, and also bass guitar as well.
J Sims J. So what inspired you to actually start J Sims J?
From the beginning, what inspired me was I've got to mention my mentor, Apostle C.J. Baker, for giving me the idea to actually do lessons. That's the first thing I started out with, was lessons. And so I didn't think I could teach anybody anything, but I first started off with just about 2 students. I was traveling, commuting to Waynesboro, with just 2 students. And then they started learning, and they started to spread the word, themselves. And when they started spreading the word, we had more students come in.
So it's not really a lot of advertising you really had to do. Everything is pretty much word of mouth.
Yes, from that time, and that time it was. But now I do Facebook advertising,
right.
And also on Instagram, all your social media outlets.
That's interesting. I have definitely seen it grow from when it was just a small amount of numbers to now. I think I came to your last recital hour back in a few months back, and I think you had about 30-something students that performed, something like that. So where are you at now with J Sims J?
Well, right now we're in the process of relocating and moving to another facility.
Okay.
That's in the making right now. And
that's
so
amazing.
And it's awesome to be able to branch out and be able to be forced out of small beginnings. Because now we're moving to doing more besides just lessons and going out and performing. We're also moving to recording and also my own record label.
That's
yeah.
So we talked about J Sims J. Pretty much you kind of covered what I was going to talk about, upcoming projects, but that's pretty what's upcoming for you. All right, so we're going to play a small game. It's called Song Association.
All right.
So I kind of briefed you a little bit about the rules. We're going to remind the people that I'm going to give you a word.
All right.
You got 10 seconds to answer the word. If you don't, my assistant is going to buzz you and tell you when you've run out of seconds. And again, you're going to sing. You're going to sing a song that's either in the title of the song. Sing the word. Sing the song that has the word in the title, or you're going to just sing a song that has the word in the lyrics itself.
Okay, I'm up for the challenge. Yeah.
All right, the first word, if I gave you free.
I'm free indeed. In Christ I'm free indeed. No chains are holding me. It's who I choose to be.
If I gave you the word sweet, what you got?
'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take him at whatever. I forgot the other words.
But that's his word.
Hey,
Okay.
but it was sweet was in there.
It was in there, but we're going to try to remember lyrics of our gospel songs.
Hymns. Yeah, I remember this.
If I gave you the word need.
I need. Come on, lift your hands. The oh. Shata. I need thee. Yeah, that's it right there.
I felt it in my shondo.
Honda.
Hey!
SUV.
I have a Nissan.
Yep, you really do.
If I gave you the word easy. What? Are you stuck?
I'm stuck.
Well, you out of time.
I'm out of time,
You
dude.
out of time.
Nobody told me that the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
All right. If I gave you the word love,
I love to praise him. I love to praise his name. I love to praise him. I love to
praise his name.
I love to praise
My tambourine.
him.
Come on, Ron. I love to praise his
Oh Lord,
name.
I love
I love to praise
his
holy name.
Oh.
I don't know the rest of the words. I know he's my rock.
He's
that's
my
it.
rock.
You gave it to him. If I gave you the word presence,
I know so many songs. Come on now.
well, give us one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
I cannot believe you forgot Byron Cage.
Really? What, I'm still kind of lost.
I think it's Byron. Is that Byron
Which
Cage?
one is it?
I don't think it's Byron Cage.
How's it go though? What's the?
The presence of the Lord is here.
Yeah, it is. It's
Okay,
Byron Cage.
I thought it was Byron Cage.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
All right. The presence of the Lord is here. The presence of the Lord is here. I can feel it in the atmosphere. The presence of the Lord is here. Oh, the presence of the Lord is here.
I'm out the screen.
Ah! I've learned how to do that. I'm telling you.
Believe me, them runs take practice and
Practice.
patience,
Because
and
you can't just.
you get mad sometimes because you're sliding.
That
Who would you say now today is your favorite gospel artist? One of your favorite at least.
Ty Tribbett.
Okay. High energy.
Yes.
That's the only thing I really know
Yeah.
Ty Tribbett by. He could sing his butt off too.
Exactly.
But
Musical genius.
Absolutely. I have to agree with that.
Songwriter.
Do you got a Ty Tribbett song?
A Ty Tribbett talking about for me to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to speak it. It's not
Wow. It's a lot of them, but let's do. I'm gonna do the one that one of his singers says song. Tell me what could I do? 'Cause I can live without you. I can live without you. Oh, tell me what could I do? 'Cause I can live without you. I can live without you. 'Cause here's my heart and here's my mind. I give you my soul, Lord. I need you to take control.
So let's talk about growing up Pentecostal. When we look back, we know that a lot of things were strict that we could not do in the church, outside of church, especially the women. You know, it's a lot of things that they were not allowed to do, that they had to do. One thing in particular that I knew that was big in our household was that we could not listen to secular music. And Lord knows back then when I was growing up, I loved me some Usher. So.
Yeah. I did too.
But of course, we had to sneak and listen to it on the radio and BET when the parents wasn't around. But do you think that honestly speaking, listening to some of the music helped developing our gospel voice now? Did some of that music help, or do you think that the gospel music actually helped that secular music industry? Like, what do you think about that?
I got so much to say on this real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna break it down though.
Okay.
This is my thoughts on it. I believe that the gospel industry has like the top singers. I believe that even, Usher, who we're talking about, he came from, the church and singing. Most of your secular artists have their background, their roots in gospel coming from the church and singing when they were smiling. And so I believe that your gospel singers, you know, have like just the best voices. And we have some secular artists, you know, that are when they sung secular, you know, let's take Fantasia for an example. You know, she's a very you know, soulful gospel sounding singer. You know, but you also had some that were secular that sung, you know, gospel as well. So I believe the gospel singers, you know, are top notch. But you know, with your secular, you know, artists, I just believe they have a bigger audience.
True.
You know, and I don't know if this is gonna be another question or anything, but my thoughts on it is, you know, that you know, being in the actually seeing secular artists and seeing what they do, being able to reach the people that they reach, it's not necessarily, you know, wrong, you know, according, you know, to my beliefs, you know, and everything that I see now. It just depends on their message.
Right, absolutely.
You know.
And another topic I wanted to touch on with that was that, you know, there was a lot of controversy with Tasha Cobbs having Nicki Minaj to sing on her album, one of her singles. How did you feel about it?
Backlash on that. Yeah, I heard, actually, we talked about it before. What, you want my thoughts on it?
Absolutely.
All right.
For the people.
Here we go. For the people. Yeah. All right, here it is. I've heard, you know, when people had said that before, they would say, you know, why does Tasha Cobbs have Nicki Minaj, you know? But in her interview, you know, when she had said that, you know, Nicki had called her, you know, and Nicki really, you know, had been watching her shows and her performances and said she was really touched by it. So she was actually able to get on Tasha Cobbs' next CD that she was doing, her album and stuff. So, you know, it really wasn't just Tasha Cobbs just trying to just pull her in, you know, but it was good that she was able to get her on hers, you know, versus Tasha actually singing on one of hers, which, you know, I still, you know, wouldn't think, you know, different about how I felt about it, you know, whether either or. So I think it was a great collaboration and everything. She didn't get on it and start cursing and using profanity and all, and just, you know, all the stuff that you would think, you know, that, you know, Nicki would actually say and do. She didn't say it on there, you know. Everything that was coming out was, you know, sharing the, you know, the gospel of life.
Right. And just to even go back into with Nicki, with Tasha Cobbs, with that wasn't even one of the first artists that I had knew that had put a secular artist on their album.
Plenty.
Now, I would say the first one I remember, and it's probably been a person before this, but first one I could remember was Karen Clark Sheard. Yeah. And she had Missy Elliott on one of hers.
This has been going on for a very long time. Think about, you know, a baby, you know, psychology tells us, you know, that, you know, a very small baby, they really don't remember things. So when they're very small, you put something in front of their face, it becomes very important to them. They grab for it, reach for it. But when it's gone, it's no longer in their vision. And so it's not important to them anymore and stuff like that. And I think just because, you know, we haven't, you know, if some of us were, you know, brought to that for the first time or seen it for the first time, then, or we felt like we saw it for the first time, then, you know, ooh, this is kind of, you know, strange or something like that. But it's just been put in your vision now. It's been going on for a very long time since, you know, Ray Charles, you know, actually took the gospel, the songs from the church, and actually did blues.
That's
you
true.
know,
That's true.
And they got upset because of that. But music has been cycling so much, so it's really not just it's not really the beat, the rhythm, the actual sound of it. It's actually the lyrics that makes it. It's actually called sacred and secular music, because that's the difference between the gospel. The gospel is the good news. So if the good news is in whatever beat you put it in, whatever vehicle you want to put it in, it becomes gospel. So that's the gospel. Gospel isn't a certain sound.
Absolutely.
It is the good news. It is the lyrics that are put into that certain type of music.
Glad you touched on that. Like you said, it's not the beat. It's not the music. It's the lyrics. And
exactly.
I think that's important, because as soon as the beat drop, people are like, oh, you get on the worldly music. But it's just a beat. So
Exactly.
But you know, yeah, and I agree with that.
It may
as well.
have, started, it may have started in the from a worldly perspective, and I can understand, when people they think, okay, well that's the worldly side because it started there,
Right.
But that doesn't mean that either or, sacred or secular, can't use the music, that each other, have, because it's either sacred or secular, depending on the lyrics.
That's true. That is understood. It's understood to me that you have played behind some known gospel artists, and one being recognized to a lot of people is Karen Clark. What's some other people you've played behind as well?
Yeah, she said that night, she said, I had some oil on me. Thank God. So, yeah, but yes, her, also her sister, Dorinda, I was able to actually play behind her, Jacqueline Carr, Juanita Bynum, which is, very, you got to be on point behind Juanita Bynum to play. She actually moved people. If you're not ready, she gonna tell you you're not ready and move you.
Because if this wasp sting me.
Oh, it's a wasp right in front of us.
It's like right there, and I got
right there,
nervous. It's like,
wasp right there.
I want to thump it, but I'm scared he gonna get mad.
Oh man,
I don't know how to get him.
Trying to get to the light.
He is. Oh, shy.
I
Where you go?
Listen.
But speaking of Karen Clark, I mean not Karen Clark, but what is considering consists of her as well. But Kiara, they're now coming out with a biopic of the Clark sisters.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
I think it's gonna be awesome because the not only just the Kojic Church, music and the musicians and stuff stemmed from Maddie Mouse Clark. Big props to her. And also the people that she touched. The Clark sisters. Which stem from her. And the whole Kojic gospel world, which is filled with, their music from the past. We cannot say any music in the gospel arena hasn't been affected by them at all. So I'm really rooting for them in this, and hope a lot of people see, and they get to understand, the importance of, the Clark sisters.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, that was before my time with the Clark sisters, but of course their music is so legendary that we still listen to it today.
Exactly.
But a lot of times, my mom growing up in Detroit, she actually sung in Maddie Mouse Clark choir. And
Dr. Maddie Mouse. Let me put it like that.
Doctor.
Let's fix that.
You cannot disrespect Dr. Maddie Mouse. But yeah, she actually sung in the choir, so she got a chance to sing with, to experience with Karen, Dorinda, Jackie, Denise. I'm forgetting one. Twinkie. Cannot forget Twinkie.
Oh, yeah.
And just the experience of what it was with her actually directing and teaching, and how strict she was, and it's just phenomenal to actually did not play. She took on the music, writes the music, creates the music, and everything. So definitely got to get. I cannot wait till it come out. I think it's going to be an amazing project. So we're definitely waiting for that. All right. So John, I definitely want to thank you again for being the first one to actually do this interview with Transforming Corner. And hopefully we have you back again soon.
Oh yeah, most definitely.